got game, my aim is true, bells and straight winning it. From FP to RTS, I'm all into it. I seen your words online, now it's game time. We all know that you're just talk, now you're all mine. LOL, BF, Madden's all the same. A serial killer committed murder inside the game. Now you're beaten, yellow now, player no more. Back to the minors, game over, off F4. And welcome to the premiere episode of Alt F4, the show for the serious gamer. We're talking about pro gamers, world record holders, people that take gaming serious, because gaming is serious business. I am Jay A. LaRock. I have no world records, I have no pro gaming stats, but I have a website that just dominates most of the other blogs out there. So I guess that's my bragging point. And I'm here with my co-host Joshua, aka Shin Hayabusa. What's up, bro? How you doing?
It's all good, man. It's all good. Excited to be here on this show and be a part of it.
Definitely. And one of the main focuses of the show, as I said, is talking about hardcore gaming, people who take it to the next level, not casuals, not people who are playing Candy Crush, the people who go out there and challenge, from eSports to the guy who's just yelling in his mic. But today we're talking with not just a legend, but a perfect legend. We're hanging out here with Carl White. Hey, Carl, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So,
it's good to have Carl on.
I guess to start, at the beginning, just give us a little history of, what exactly you do as far as professional gaming.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I compete, as most people do. Right now, I'm co-hosting a podcast. I'm actually writing a book to help people get into fighting games. Well, as far as on a basic level, I'm going to have certain volumes. It'll be like a novice version, and it'll be an intermediate, etc. So I'm doing that. I'm streaming daily, basically trying to get people into Injustice or try to just build on that fan base. I really love Injustice. I love Street Fighter, and I've done testing. I've also written a strategy guide for Injustice. So I guess I'm doing a lot. I have my hand in a lot of things.
So is that most of the time? Would you say that that's what has to be done, especially if you're going to make it as far as gaming? You can't just be like a one-person guy, just sit back and just play games. You got to go out there
you gotta do
put in the work.
There's a lot more you have to do than just play. Because, people have to know the person behind the character of the game. So, and plus I feel like giving back to the community by getting more people into it, I think that's a big thing to do. Like me, I'm always trying to educate people, even people who already know how to play, and new players, because I feel like the only way we're going to grow is for people to understand what's going on.
So for the most part, what would be the games that you excel in?
The Dead or Alive series, anything made by NetherRealm Studios, like Mortal Kombat, Injustice. I'm actually really good at Street Fighter as well. Most fighting games I actually have a really great grasp on, to where I can compete on a pro level, but I tend to choose just Injustice or Street Fighter. They're the biggest games, I think, and they're the most fun, so I just play those. And Mortal Kombat, no one's really playing it anymore, so I put it down. I really don't have anything to gain from keep playing it other than my own enjoyment, but I want to go where the competition is. That's why I'm playing Injustice and Street Fighter.
And it was Mortal Kombat that you really got the notoriety and championships in, right?
Right.
And was that something that was hard to get that good? Because I played Mortal Kombat, I've seen people that play good, but we know there's a different level between that and then being a pro gamer.
Honestly, Mortal Kombat came really natural to me. I didn't have to do a lot of hard practicing in it. I played it every day, but I would just mess around with stuff. But I didn't really have to study it. There wasn't really a way for me to study it, because I had to, either just play online or theory fight in my head. I didn't have any frame data or anything for a long time, and I don't know. It was just really natural to me. As soon as I touched the game and I picked Kung Lao, I was like, wow, this character meshes well with what I like to do in games. It's more so about finding the character that goes along with your fighting game personality, as far as what you like to do, and once you're able to do that, it's so easy to excel. And with Kung Lao, I was able to do that, so I didn't really have that hard of a time as far as practicing it or being good at it.
So overall, how did it begin, as far as gaming? I've been playing games since I was a little kid, starting out with Atari games and all that stuff. Obviously, I'm sure that you played games for a long time, but I mean, was it pretty much the same thing starting out, when you was young playing games?
Yeah, I started with a Game Boy and playing Tetris. I was about what 3 years old or four or something like that.
Damn.
And then, time went on. About a year later, I started playing like arcade games. I'll go to arcade and play Mortal Kombat. I'll play Killer Instinct. I'll play Street Fighter. And for a good period of my life, I played a lot of PC games, like a lot of Half-Life mods, Star Wars type games. So I was really into like anything to do with Star Wars or like samurais or ninjas and stuff. So I would try to find any kind of game that's like that, like anything to do with anime or whatever. But then as I got older, around like 16, I got back into like fighting games, and then that's when they went online, and I was able to actually play with more people than the friends that I had to play with at home. But sometimes they wouldn't play with me because I used to just beat everybody up. So I didn't really get too much out of it. They didn't want to play me for too long. So I'm just like, man, this is boring. But when they release online, I'm like, great. I can play nonstop all day with anyone from anywhere around the world. And that's what got me into it. And that's at 17, I went to my first major tournament and did well there. Like I've never really done too bad at tournaments. That's kind of why I kept going when I was younger. I was always top three. Like I was never out of the top three. When I got out of the top three, it was weird because it never happened. It took, I don't know, till I was about maybe 2021 to actually lose a tournament that bad. Actually, no, wait. It took, I guess, for a different game to come out because in Dead or Alive, I never placed out of the top three. Um, when Street Fighter came out, was when I like went to a major and I like got 10th. Well, no, I mean like top 10 at my first Street Fighter major. But other than like as far as the games that I really was like proficient in, I never placed out of the top three except for like in Mortal Kombat, I got like out of the top 8 at like I think CEO 1 year, and then other than that, I kind of like won everything or got top 3 or top 5 or something.
How's it that you knew? I mean, because I know, when I used to play like Street Fighter 2, like on the SNES and stuff like that, you'd run across people that play really good, and then,
Hmm.
you may get friends that you play with, you start beating them, and I know with online play, you get a better chance of seeing how good your skills are. I mean, when was it that you actually said to yourself, you know what, I think that I could make it as a pro gamer? Or was it more like, hey, you know what, I'm going to go to a tournament anyway, whether or not I do really good or I get smashed?
Um, when I first started, I sucked. Actually, I wasn't that great. Like in the grand scheme of things, I used to get bodied online. So I would, I finally like, I just got um on a good grasp on the game after playing it for so long and figuring out what I needed to do to it. Once I figured it out, then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to a tournament because people aren't gonna give me the respect that I want, and that's what got me going to tournaments because I just want to beat people, and I love that rush. It's a rush that I can't replicate if I wanted to. There's no drug or any food or anything that I can get and give me the same kind of rush that I get from beating someone at a tournament and winning a tournament. So that's why I just kept going. It was kind of like an addiction. Well, it was more of a healthy addiction.
Yeah, what is that like? For I guess maybe for people that never been to them, or are either afraid or are never gonna go. I mean, what's it like walking into a tournament, whether it's a small one or one of the big ones like EVO, and then playing against people?
All right, well, whichever tournament I go to, because I never have a home field advantage, everyone's cheering against me. Everyone wants me to lose. So I always got that feeling that, oh, we don't want PO to win, et cetera, et cetera. Because me, honestly, I'll admit I like to talk trash. I love talking trash. And only when I have a reason to. Like I won't just go out and just start trash talking somebody unless they talk trash first. And I like to blow people up for their comments, whatever. People like to blow me up. It's fun. Like I love it. I can't get enough of it. But uh like going to a tournament and winning the tournament and knowing you're the best person in the room and no one can say a thing to you is great. It's like, so what? I'm smarter than you. I outthought you here, here, and here, and you can't say anything. You
Right.
just have to hold that to the next tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, when you're playing against your friends, and you start whooping their ass, and then you just start, and they still talk shit, and you just lay it down, and you realize, okay, these guys are no comp. And then
Right.
especially online, you see so many people talking shit, and when you actually go and play them, you end up beating them. Uh, I mean, you talked about hate. I mean, obviously the internet's full of haters. All you have to do is
Right.
look at any game board, but I mean, what was it? Was it just that you were just laying the smack down, or what was it that draws so much hate and heat to you?
All right, my first experience in Dead or Alive, and I will never forget this. At first, I used to just want to be like the guy that hosts tournaments for people. I just wanted to get everybody together to play. I just like interacting with people. I like having them play. I like talking strats, everything. But I wasn't that good. I was more so about like hosting it online terms. I used to do one every week. And I would try to do one every day. I just love tournaments. So, but everybody used to always be like, "Oh, Carl, you suck," because I used to just want to play. I never said anything to anybody. I just want to play with people. But the top players at the time was like, "Oh, you suck. We won't want to play with you. You're wasting time, etc., etc." So I had to hear this forever, right? So I was like, "Okay, all right. You know what? I'm gonna actually stop hosting tournaments and learn the game and beat people." And once I did, I started talking so much crap because had all this built up from everyone talking crap for so long, and then when I finally started winning, then I started talking smack, and then I kept going on. I didn't care. I was like, no, I had to hear this forever. I had to hear this for months. You're going to hear it from me, and I'm going to come to every tournament that you show up to and beat you. I don't care if it's a house tournament. I'm going to show up. Like, that's how I felt.
Did you have like specific rivals, or was it just anyone that was there would automatically just start talking shit?
I guess anyone who would talk shit to me, but like I did have rivals. Well, they considered me a rival. I didn't consider them a rival because I felt like I was on another level than everyone else. That's how I felt. But I know that's really modest to say. But at Dead or Alive, there's like DOA Master, there's Black Mamba, there's Offbeat Ninja. Then like Mortal Kombat, I guess there's Rio. I guess there's Junior. The entire East Coast actually. In Street Fighter, it was like Wolf Crone and Alucard from Michigan, and then there's like some East Coast players or whatever. Because I went to more Midwest events than I did to any other events for Street Fighter. Trying to think. Yeah, it was just those games. Like I tried to play Soul Calibur a little bit, but I don't know. It didn't hold me, grasp me like DOA or any other game did. As good as the game is, it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't mesh well with what I like to do. But it was I don't know. I had rivals, but I never really looked at them as my rival. They looked at me as a rival, like because I never looked at another player as a stepping stone to beat. They always looked at me like that. So like whenever I win, I never pop off or anything because I'm like, well, I feel like I'm supposed to win. I feel like I am better than you. So this is what's supposed to happen. When people beat me, they like freaking go nuts, like they just won the lottery.
Yeah, they lose their mind.
Yeah, man. So I'm just like, whatever. That's why I just shake hands. I'm probably the most boring player to watch after I win because I don't do anything. I just get up and walk away because it's another day in the office for me. But if I were to beat someone like Daigo in Street Fighter, then I would probably like I don't know cry or something because I feel like he's the final boss or something.
So it's kind of like almost like like a LeBron James. It's like you have all these posers.
Don't compare. No.
Oh, you hate LeBron?
No, I don't want to be compared to LeBron James.
Well, who would you compare yourself to?
He's from Ohio, but I don't want to be compared to LeBron. Say Jordan, or like.
What about a Kobe? You could be a Kobe. Everybody hates Kobe.
Okay, Kobe's okay, but yeah, Kobe. I'll accept Kobe.
What's wrong with LeBron?
Everything.
Aha, you want to know? See, I have to represent because I'm down here in South Beach. He left Ohio. I don't consider LeBron from Ohio. I mean, I don't think most people from Ohio consider themselves from Ohio.
Well, he grew up in Akron, so
Yeah.
he's from Ohio by default. That's like me moving to saying, yeah, I'm not from Ohio. Can't do it.
So when you actually do win the big ones, I mean, is there a case then where you'll have people cheer you and give you more respect, or is it still just more hate the more you actually win?
People shut up until I lose again. That's it. That's all there is.
Yeah.
They'll give me some respect for that time in if I lose again, even if I get second. Most players, they can go to a turn and be like, man, I made top 8. This is a great accomplishment for me. I can't make top 8 and be like, yeah, this is great. That's a failure for me.
He can't even place second. He can't
I can't get second.
They'll call him washed up if he places second.
Yeah, I have to get first at every tournament.
So that's basically how you know the winners from the losers, because the losers are always the ones that are just saying that oh, if I'm just there, or if I just place well, then it's a good victory. But for real champions, it's like if I ain't winning, I'm a loser.
Yeah, I mean, I could look at my entire track record for last year. I still had a good year as far as tournaments. Like, I won an Injustice major, I won a Mortal Kombat major. I placed second at a good amount of them. I freaking got top 8 at a lot of them. But for me, no, it's like, no, you suck. You're supposed to win. You know, but everyone else is like, yeah, man, I got freaking 7th place. It was awesome.
Top 16 for life.
Yeah, exactly. I got ninth a couple of times, and I didn't get any props for it.
They're like putting it on their Twitter and Facebook. I got 9th place. I got
Yeah.
18th place, and you're like, yeah, I wouldn't even put that shit on my.
Yeah, I don't even like listing that. Like people were like, man, there's one guy who's like, yeah, man, I got 45th at EVO in Street Fighter. Like, I don't care if there's 1,000 people there. 45th is still a billionth place to me. I got 45th at EVO in 2011 in Street Fighter. You don't see me talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, tell me about the like joining with groups, because I saw like with Fnatic and things like that. Like, when does that come about where people want you like to be on like a team?
I guess it depends how much you win and how much of a face you are in the community. And what you do as well, what you bring in as far as viewers or just notoriety in general. That's where it comes in. I mean, I've been competing at this level for almost 10 years. And I guess that's why I'm able to get into different teams or just different sponsors and stuff. Because I've been around forever. Like, same thing as Justin or even Daigo or something. Like, they've all been, well, they've been around a lot longer than me, but I've been around for almost as long. And I've been winning for just as long as I've been in it.
So as far as actually, you're trying to do this like as a living wise, like is that something that is you only can do that if you're always either winning or at least being in the top 3, or even with that, it's like you better have side ventures or else you ain't paying rent.
Well, you always want to have a side job or part-time job with anything in life, even if you're not gaming, if you're doing something else, you want to have a side hustle just in case something happens, you need something to fall back on. But as far as like making money in gaming or competing, I mean, there's other things you have to do besides win. You have to do freelance type jobs, write a strategy guide or something, or create a brand. Like you have like Broken Tier and like Traveling Circus, they sell apparel and stuff. I mean, Mad Cats, they sell arcade sticks and stuff. Like, there's a different avenues you can go into. I mean, there are streamers who make a lot of money from streaming. There are tournament organizers that make money from hosting events. Like, there's different avenues. It's just that, you have to put as much into it to get as much as you want back from out of it.
Have you had someone that like tried to, I guess, attack you constantly to try to help their name? Like, you kind of hear that sometimes, like in
Dude,
hip-hop.
yes, I always get it. There are players that are only relevant because I'm alive.
It's true. This is so true. It's very true, especially on Test Your Might and all those websites.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, okay, without me, Mortal Kombat probably wouldn't have been as hyped competitively last year, in 2012, because it was the Rio City Junior show, and I stepped up and beat them like single-handedly. And
on the biggest stage.
Yeah. Like, at first I was told, oh, well, it was probably a fluke you beat him the first time. All right, cool. So I beat him the second time. Okay, well,
you won't do it again.
Yeah, like, what? What kind of logic is that?
How many times do I have to keep beating the same people?
So I have to keep playing until I lose, basically.
And then when you lose that one set after you go, I don't know, 103 and 6, you're just
that's when that really mattered, apparently.
No, that's when I was playing for real. That happened so much.
They were like, no, you gotta play Rio now, because now he knows how to really use Cabal. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to hear that.
I think that's kind of how you know that you really reached something, because it's like when someone starts talking smack. I'll never forget when someone actually started talking smack about our website, and it's like, why would you waste your time doing that? It's like, really? Like, I'm going to get into a Twitter war or a forum war over whose website's better? It's like, come on. And it's like, I can't believe that people actually do that. And in gaming, at least I understand that, because it's like, that's just the nature of the game. But, I mean, like, do you have, like, stalkers? Like, people are always, like, tweeting whenever you tweet or something, like, or if you go to a message board,
like,
they follow you?
I'll be in a stream chat, or I'll be streaming. There's like, so when are you going to play Rio for money? And I'm just like, Are you serious? We're still going over this. I covered this like a month ago. Like this, just I have trolls. I mean, honestly, when people start trolling me, I'm like, all right, bro. You know, you should go to theperfectlegend.com and comment and voice your opinion. I'm like, shit, just give me some hits. Go to YouTube,
There
my
you go.
YouTube channel. Go to Twitch. If you hate me, then give me some views. Freaking come watch me do whatever I do during the day.
Yeah, so for all you haters out there, you have to go over to @perfectlegend so you can
Yeah,
and then go to herculegend.com, like you said, so you can
Voice all your opinions and concerns over there.
No publicity is bad publicity, right?
Yeah. Anything works at this point. But yeah,
So,
Carl, what
yeah.
do you think about what happened this weekend over at Winter Brawl?
I've been going off lately about it. Well, I was talking to my girlfriend about it on the ride home because she's like really into, everything as far as the scene and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, it's so funny because I go to Testermite and I see Rio post. Here's what I learned from watching Winter Brawl. He's basically giving KDZ props, saying like, "Yeah, you guys try to calm him out because of this, and that." I'm like, "Huh, that's funny, Rio, because this is the exact same thing that happened to me 2 years ago." So now we're gonna be okay to give KDZ his props, but you can't give me my props. Okay.
Nope.
I'm like, it's not double standard just because it's me. No. Okay. I understand they're both part of Empire. Doesn't matter. You have to be equally fair to everybody.
I agree.
And yeah, I'm glad KDZ won. I don't care if freaking Superman had a win button. I don't care if he had super meter the entire match, and it never went away. He could just beat you with super. He still won EVO. Okay. It takes a special kind of player to win EVO. You can't just horse some regular strategy, because if that were the case, someone else would have won.
Yeah.
Or there'll be a random winner every time. It's not like KDZ didn't, get third at CEO. It's not like he wasn't dominating before, leading into EVO. Like, the only person that stopped him at CEO was me.
Yep.
I forgot who put him in losers, but
I think Deg put him in losers.
Okay. And then
With Scorpion.
Oh, I didn't even see that. And and then at VXG, I was the only person to beat him.
And Chris
no,
G.
it was Chris G. Yeah, Chris G.
Yeah.
Chris G was dominant as well. Like, they want to count Chris G out because the patch where they're trying to say that pre-patch the game didn't matter. It matters now. Like, no, that's not the case, because everybody was still playing pre-patch.
Yep.
Okay, you got to count everything. I don't care what people try to say. Even the early tournaments that Rio and
Brady
won because they were launch tournaments, but still you gotta, I guess, factor them in. You can't just count something out because because you think the game's more fair now to you. No. Or because you think you can play the game now, you're better now. No, just because it took you long to adapt don't mean it doesn't matter. So I think everyone needs to hold that, give KZ respect, count EVO, and stop discrediting EVO, because that's all they want to do. How are you going to discredit the biggest tournament in the world? You can't discredit the biggest tournament in the world. I have 600 something entrants.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think is one of the biggest downfalls of the community right now, as far as when it comes to you trying to play other players, and they seem to sometimes maybe avoid you, playing casuals with you?
I mean, that's a given. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to be dumb and play me in the long set, so then they can. Because honestly, I'll lose 100-0 to somebody. I don't care. I'm just testing stuff out in casuals. When it comes tournament, I will probably beat that person 6-0 just because I know everything they want to do. I'm not playing people to get information. I'm trying to figure out what do I want to do, what actually works in matches, etc. But like, community's biggest downfall right now is they're too quick to be like, oh, this is the best, or this person's not that good, or this person's the best Batman or the best Doomsday or whatever, or they're not that great or whatever. Like, for example, everyone's been shitting on Zyfox forever, since the game came out. He's created most of the tech with Flash, and finally, it's piecing itself together. Sometimes it takes time for tech to, I guess, flourish. You plant a flower, it should don't grow the next day. It takes a year or several months or whatever. So, people need to stop counting people out, I feel like, and just enjoy playing the game. Enjoy the game for what it is. Encourage more people to play, because no one wants to go to a tournament just to get blown up on TYM all the time, because that's never fun. Like, you can't enjoy a game when people are constantly in your face talking smack. But I mean, that's also healthy because there's double-edged sword to that. It's healthy for the game because it gives people motivation. I guess, winners or champions are kind of made in a very crappy environment instead of like a happy environment. Because everyone's happy-go-lucky, no one has the fire to win. That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
I
So
agree with that.
the TYMs, or yeah, whatever, our community's biggest downfall is also its biggest asset.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, what do you feel is your biggest accomplishment? Do you feel it's those EVO championships or getting contracted to write strategy guides? I mean, it's you've done a lot.
I don't know. It's a combination of all of it, honestly. Because I never thought as a kid that I would go from playing my favorite fighting game to making money from it, to working with the team that made the game, to write the strategy guide for one of their games. I never thought that I'd be playing on TV. I never thought that there would be streams and stuff like this. Um, I never thought I would have my own logo or anything. I never thought I would have fans. So it's a combination of everything. I can't just say one. I mean, all of them are great. Like, and working on Injustice, it was the best-selling fighting game of last year. It won the best fighting game of the year last year.
Yeah.
And I did Strategy Guy. I'm pretty sure Strategy Guy sold a lot. Mortal Kombat being the best in that game is big in itself because, in my opinion, the biggest fight game in the world. Like, there's no game that outsells it.
It's
Um,
true. That's very
like
true.
like knowing the team like personally is great too. Like I have freaking Hector's number, I have freaking Derek's number, I have Brian LeBaron's number. I mean, I don't have Ed's number or anything. He follows me on Twitter. He talks to me on Twitter.
Yeah,
I
I
can
mean,
talk to Paulo on
he
AIM. I
was
can
at
talk to
EVO,
John
wasn't
Edwards on
he?
AIM. Yeah, like I know all those guys. Like they would probably give me a job if I wanted one. But I'm not ready to, I guess, stop competing yet or move to Chicago either. But it's it's surreal because I'm like, I never thought I would be in this position.
Hey, you can
You
move
know,
to Chicago and go play with the GGA guys and
right?
down player 16-bit, right?
Yeah. I love to move to Chicago. If I had everything set up, I would go there. If I could take my family there and stuff.
Well, I was born in Chicago, and I can tell you that's like it's freezing cold in the winters, man. It's like that's why I
It's
had to come
freezing
down
cold
here.
here, dude. It used to be like a week ago. It was like negative 15 degrees. Now
Oh
it's like
man.
40 or 30 or something.
I know that we talked last time I was talking with Shin about just like I guess what you'd say kind of like they're gamers, they'd be considered pro gamers, but they're more there because of either how they do publicity or the flash or the personality more than the actual gameplay. And then same thing with some girl gamers. It's like not making any disrespect to girl gamers, especially the ones that have real skills, but I'm sure that in a tournament environment, of course, you talk about corporate sponsors, you're talking about money, you talk about media. There's got to be cases where they prop up one person, guy or girl, more than the other just because of either their looks or their following or whatever. I mean, have you seen that?
I mean, that's life. They do that everywhere. I mean, there are starving artists on the streets of New York that are way better than the ones that are in the media. But because of their look or whatever, they're not in the position that they should be in. I mean, it's the same thing with everything in life. So, I mean, of course, it's going to be in gaming. It's in everything. Anything that has a following is like that. Like sex sells. So, of course, they're going to probably product place women, or product place like attractive males or whatever, or whoever is better on the mic, whoever is better on camera, etc. Like it doesn't matter how great your skills are. It's still what there is face value. It's just like choosing a mate. Someone you want to be with for the rest of your life. You want them to look a certain way before you even talk to them.
Right.
So
Is there,
it's just like that. That's life.
is there like, who would you say would be like the top girl gamers that like actually represent true skills?
There's what's her name, who is her and P-Board, P-Board's a guy. Has her boyfriend. But what's her name is probably the best player, a female player, one of the best players still, I think, that I've seen in a long time. She's really good. Like that tournament and MK and Justice tournament, EGP, I forget. It was sometime this
Redemption
year.
or something.
Yeah, something like that. I think she got third or fourth or something.
Yeah, and she was playing Ermac, not even a really high tier character.
Yeah, she is really good at Ermac, and she has a really good Kung Lao too. Like she's really good. She can play Injustice really well too, even though she doesn't like Injustice all that much. She can play really well. Then, and the thing is, she actually can, beat a lot of players.
Yeah,
And
she has upset
it's
a
not
lot
like,
of players
it's
before.
not like she could just beat the cannon fodder. No, she could beat top players and actually place top at a major. Like if MK was still going strong, I don't think I would see her out of the top. I think she can make top 8. Like that's how I feel about it. Like last time I played with him, I was like, wow, she's really good now. 'Cause she was good before, but she's like really good now. Um, Kayane is good, but she's good at Soul Calibur. I haven't seen her be really good at anything else as far
I
as like
think
placing.
she play Street Fighter one year and win
Yeah,
like a women's tournament.
yeah, she won the women's tournament. Like she's decent in the game, but I don't see her
Yeah.
placing top at a tournament. But in Soul
Nah.
Calibur, she's definitely a top player in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Um, there's
So do
Vanessa of
they end up
DOA.
splitting the brackets then? Like, so if you're a pro gamer for women, then you'll have it where they can play in women's only tournaments, but then all together as well.
I would never do that. Like they did that for CGS when I played in it. They had a women's division for DOA. I do not like that because it's basically one. I don't like that because I feel like they should have to earn their wins. There should be no easy way out because the female players back then they weren't that great in DOA. Actually, they're not that great now either. I mean, I'm just being real, not being harsh, but they're not that great, and it makes it easy. It's like they hand it away, contracts. They're just making it a big division of like 12 players for one division. They split it 6-6. So there are a lot of great players that were in the player pool that missed out on the opportunity because they want to have a women's division, and I don't think that's fair. And one, it's not fair to women because you're saying that they're
Not good enough to compete. Yeah.
not just that they're not as smart as the males or they're not able to keep up with the males, so we have to segregate them. It's not like physical sports where there's literally a real handicap there because they're not as strong as men. We're saying that they're mentally handicapped, and that's not right.
Yeah, I agree with that. There shouldn't be any type of segregation. If a girl can compete and beat guy players, at the same level or higher level, I don't see why they should be separated at all.
Yeah, I don't see any like separation. If I held a tournament, no, there is no like women's league or anything. I mean, it'll be good for some of the girls, I guess, because then they'll feel like, well, you know what, we don't have to play against like the super top tier guys. We have our own league and stuff. But then again, that's just them settling for less. I do not agree with settling for less.
Yeah, and I guess that's where again you have to separate between the I'm going for it because I want to be a champion and maybe it's just kind of like a stepping stone. I think I might become famous or make some money or do something else. I mean, sadly, you see that in gaming. A lot of times they put a pretty face either on a news broadcast or a web stream or a review, and that person probably doesn't even know shit about games, and it's just hoping to show up on some sitcom on NBC or some shit.
Yeah. And then you do have some that are attractive and do know what they're talking about. But it's harder for them too because no one will give them respect because they know that what people do is put pretty people in a certain position to market something. But for the ones who are pretty and actually know what they're talking about, it's hard. It's just as hard for them because now they have to break that mold. Like, look, I do know what I'm talking about.
Right, exactly. And talking about as far as how people feel about different types of gamers, I noticed just online that you kind of can have a mixture because you can have people who will say all types of racial stuff, but at the same time, at least in my experiences, when I met people, some of these people that would talk the craziest shit, it's truly just in a game and they don't mean it, and everyone's really cool, like especially like the LAN parties and stuff. Like I've been lucky where I've met hundreds of people, and I think I've only probably ran across maybe one or two people that were actually like really real shitty or racist. I mean, would you say that like I'm sure that just people talking shit, they're going to be throwing out racial shit. But I mean, have you actually experienced like something like that where you felt like, wow, this guy's actually real with it? Or is it just internet things that they just say that because they know it's going to get a rise out of people?
Um, and not in person, never. But uh, one time I called into a show and someone came into the show because they allow people to call in or whatever and say whatever. They called in. He was like, "Do you like fried chicken and grape soda?" And then they booted him off the show. But that was the first time I was just like, "Wow."
And it could be even like in that guy was just like, oh, maybe that, if I do that online, people will remember me or some shit like that.
Yeah, or
But I
it'll
mean,
probably get
it's
a
still
rise out of me
shitty.
or something.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the most tense moment you've had in competition so far, Carl?
Wait, say what?
The most tense moment that you've had in any competition? One that you felt like you weren't going to be able to clutch it out, or you didn't know what the outcome of the matches would be, and if you'd win or lose.
Mm.
Because you don't show any emotion, so you really don't.
Like the Vulcan.
Yeah. Trying to think. Honestly, I'm never thinking like, oh my god, I'm not gonna. I don't think like the times I've actually lost are the times that I was like, I don't think I'll be able to win that right here, because it's usually like my mental, but that's when I have lost is when.
When it sinks in.
Yeah.
Got you. Well,
Like if you go watch footage of me losing, I'm just like, you know, I didn't think I didn't think I'd win. That's what it was. Because I still just don't show emotion. I got that from watching Daigo so much. I'm like, well, he never shows emotion.
so that'd be my next question is who have you sort of modeled yourself behind?
Daigo.
And I was gonna say, yeah, Daigo.
Yeah,
What do you
Daigo.
like about Daigo? Talk about Daigo. What made you attract to that player?
His constant, um, it's like his form. His constant, well, his appreciation for the game for one, and the way he just forces his will. Like he's like, the game is supposed to be played like this. I'm going to play it like this. He makes sure that always play like stick to what he knows and how it's supposed to be played, and he'll win. Like it doesn't, like for example, his playstyle is it's not aggressive or anything. Like honestly, I don't have an aggressive playstyle. I do. It looks like that, but really, I'm just trying to force my will on somebody. I'm trying to make you react a certain way, and that's how he plays. Like for example, with Ryu's fireball, he constantly throws it. So you either jump, try to focus, or block it or whatever. Just see what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays a style that forces you to do something so he can read you. That's how I try to play, and I constantly always try to play like that. There's sometimes I go autopilot, I get out of my way, but the times I've really like won a tournament is because I played that way. Like, look, this is the strategy. I'm going to stick to the strategy no matter what, and that's how he plays. He's not like, well, he's not really playing by feel. He's playing like, okay, this is systematic strategy. This is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like that, and his legacy, and his dominance. He's like what 30 something, like maybe 32 now, and he's still playing the same way and winning the same way. And to me, it's amazing. That's what I want to do.
I think you and him share something in common. You guys are both 3-time EVO champions.
He is actually, let's see, he's one. He is more than me. Like I am actually the only person behind Justin and Daigo that has the most. But
Okay.
he has for I think 2003 he won Super Turbo and Guilty Gear. In 2004 he also won the same tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 2006, no 2000 shit. 2009, then he won EVO again. So he already has like 5, and then I think he won HD Remix in 2010. Well, no, actually no. Snake Eyes won that.
Snake Eyes won it, yeah.
2010 he won. That was the last time he won. So he kind of has. I think he has 6.
Uh-huh.
I think he has 6. Justin, I think he has 8 or 9.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
Justin was
me, and after me is like Jason Cole,
Afro Cole.
Pro. He won Tekken 5 2 years. Trying to think who else won 2 years. I think you can say Fudo, because Fudo won 2011's EVO in Street Fighter, and then he won the exhibition in Virtual Fighter the next year.
Yeah.
So like there isn't really anyone that has 3 besides me.
Yeah.
What do you think of people who do the comparison between, like esports and then sports? I mean, like on both ends. You have some people who want to attack it and be like, oh, it's not sports, how dare you compare the two? And then you have some people that do talk about the similarities between the two.
there are similarities as far as like the practicing that goes into it and the mental strain that goes into it. Obviously, the physical part doesn't go. A lot of it doesn't go as far as like the physical training, but you have to be healthy. You do have to have good rest. You do have to eat right, etc. Because you have to have the stamina, endurance to sit there for 12 hours a day. I mean, sports events don't last 12 hours. Video game tournaments last forever, so you need to have a lot of endurance. Um, I guess as far as like playing in front of a crowd and all that stuff, it's the same. But really, the biggest difference is just the physical. That's about it. There really isn't any other difference between it. That's how I feel.
Do you have like a ritual, like when you're getting ready to go to like a big tournament?
I download music and then I'll put it on my MP3 players to listen to it. I'll make sure I have all like my toilet stuff, like toiletry stuff. I'll always, for whatever reason, I love eating like parfaits from the airport. I
Ah,
don't know why, I just do it. I guess it's good airport food. I feel like it's as healthy as I could get. I always try to have like a Gatorade or something to drink. Um, it's probably good to chew gum because what most players do, they forget to breathe while they're playing. But if you're chewing gum, you're always breathing,
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
a
always
good tip.
constantly keeping like a blood flow going to your brain by doing that. I try to just stay with like health drinks and try to eat healthy. Don't eat too hard. Eat more light stuff like salads or whatever. Um, get a lot of sleep actually. At Evo, the best I've ever been at Evo is when I took a nap. Like I remember I won pools or whatever, then went and took a nap and came back and played semifinals and I did well. Like I feel like if I would have took a nap at Evo this year, I would have won Mortal Kombat because the tournament was all day. It didn't end at all. Like it ended like at 8 o'clock. For me, my pool started at 8 a.m. and the tournament didn't end until 8 p.m. If I would have won my pool, went and took a nap, and came back, I think I would have been better to win. Because it's hard to adapt or think or anything when
You're
you're,
exhausted.
yeah, exactly. And me, I was still like sick. I just got to the hospital at the time, so that's another factor. Like I needed the rest. I was still taking meds and everything. Um, like your mental is the most important thing. Like if you feel like you're going to win, you'll more likely win, or you just feel confident. Because me at Evo 2012, I was super confident, but I was like, there's a chance I could lose if I get like a hard draw. I was like, if I fight a Johnny Cage player, I could probably have a hard time.
Yeah,
And Disney lost to Tyrant. That was the only cage in my side that I would have eventually had to face. So
that was the best cage too.
yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I know I'm going to be Tyrant. I'm not losing to Jax ever again. That's how I felt.
I wonder why you put it in your head you'd never lose to Jax again.
Because once I figured out the matchup and how hard it was for Jax to really get his game plan going, like on the ground, up close, he
Hmm.
lost to Kung Lao because
Mm.
he can't do forward four. That's his biggest bread and butter he needs to do. At a distance, I think he beats Kung Lao because he can throw a wave, and then if Kung Lao teleports, he can recover in time to punish him.
Yeah.
But in like the mid screen game, like right here, he can't do anything. Like he has to do, guess what? You dash punch to go through low hat, but I don't care if he does that because he wastes the bar meter, and if I hit him, he can't breaker the damage, so he has to
Yeah.
eat the full damage. Um, that I don't know. I just feel like that match is in Kung Lao's favor. I remember when Junior was like, "Yeah, he beats Kung Lao." It's probably like 7-3 or 6-4. I'm like, okay, and I figured it out, and then he didn't beat him anymore.
It was funny because Junior ended up picking up Kung Lao after that
Right.
time we
He
at
said Kung
MLG.
Lao was the best after I won Evo. He said Kung Lao was unbeatable, etc., etc. That's what he said.
Carl,
I always love like hearing about like like stories. So I always ask people, especially that goes to events where there's a lot of other people, like if they can tell me about one of the like either funniest or weirdest stories about maybe going to one of your competitions or events. But I'll give you a second to think about that. But before that, you were talking about just the preparation and then also going up there. So a lot of times, you'll have gamers that'll get kind of the rep of like, oh, they must be shy or in the mom's basement or stereotypes like that. But you do have some that might be, much more comfortable behind the screen and never out in public. Have you ever seen where someone actually like, that they're actually good, they have skills, but for some reason on that stage with the bright lights, with the people, they crack under the lights, the pressure, just being in public?
Mm, I mean, there's a lot of people like that, but I can't. There's a lot of people that just choke. There's people that are just only good in casuals. That's why they're like, well, long sets are the ones that matter because they can't do it when it counts. Um, me, I'm just like whatever. I can perform anywhere. I'm just not about to play like in the freaking bathroom or something for finals like they did what Texas
Texas
Showdown or
Showdown.
something. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
What, they played in the bathroom?
Yes, they
Yeah.
played the finals of the tournament in the bathroom.
What the hell? Why?
I don't know. I have
It
no
was
idea.
it was bad. The tournament organizers that were running that tournament that year were pretty suspect to begin with. But now there's, I guess, some of the old FGC people in that area ended up taking ownership of that tournament. And I heard last year's Texas Showdown was really good. The one before it was the one where they played in the bathroom, which is pretty
Mm.
embarrassing.
Like a big bathroom,
Like a public bathroom, yeah.
What? But like, I mean, was it part of even a gimmick? Like, did they try and make it like, oh, this is, I don't know, the shit toilet
I,
match or something? I
I
don't know.
don't
Nah, it
know.
was the grand finals of the tournament.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat didn't get the best treatment at events.
No, no. Most of the time, like up until Injustice, I think Mortal Kombat's always been treated as like the secondary child to all the Capcom fighters,
Yep.
which kind of sucks. I think the Mortal Kombat group as a whole is actually probably the most loyal. Even though they're not the biggest, they're the most loyal. They travel for their game.
Yeah, can you guys tell me a little
I
bit
think
about,
Smash
like, that's
Brothers
one
is
thing
the
I don't
most
understand,
loyal.
like the shadiness of some of these places that try and hold tournaments. Because I mean, I can automatically figure, like, I'm a writer, so you always have these people that send you these emails and stuff saying, hey, we can publish your book, or we can make you the top bestseller. Oh, just give us $200 and this and that. I mean, there's got to be stuff like that as far as pro gaming, right? Like
Mm,
shit tournaments or corporations that are trying to take advantage, or like you said, just places that do it terribly.
I don't know. It's difficult because I've been to tournaments like there's this thing called Electronic Sports League. No, Electronic Game League, I think, or it was EGL or EPL or something. I forget what it is.
Hmm.
It was a little forever ago. I won a tournament there. I didn't get paid. They said the first place is $500, etc. Went there, won it. It was super free, and I never got paid. That was back 2006.
Oh, VXG.
Well, I got paid half my money from VXG. I was still waiting for the
That's
rest of it.
that's a surprise. A lot of people still haven't gotten paid.
Yeah,
It's
and
been a
then so
year.
I'm like, yeah, VXG this year we're focusing on Caribbean gamers this year. I'm just like,
Come to the beach.
yeah, I'm like, can you pay us first before you can start promoting your new event? It's hard because like you'll win a tournament and the competition will be good and everything, but you won't get paid. So should you discredit the event and discredit your win, or what? It's a catch-22 because it's a lose-lose situation.
And what
Yeah.
do they say when you go after your money?
I don't know. They just like basically tell us to wait.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do, or nothing anyone's tried to do. We're just like, fuck it. It's not that much money. Now, if it was like maybe $100,000, then we have some real problems, or $10,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
For a
motherfuckers
couple,
outside the door with pitchforks. Where my money at?
I just know I'm never going back to any tournament that doesn't pay me after going there.
Yeah. Revelations did that too. I remember Revelations or no, that Arizona one. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, it was Revelation. No, no, no,
Revelation.
no, no. There's Revelations as well. It didn't pay anybody, but what was the name of the tournament? Devastation.
Devastation. There you go. It was something with a nation in it.
Yeah, Asian.
What do you tell people who, like, I know you say you're giving back and then you write the strategy guys, help people out. Um, I guess, like, is it really that, maybe like as in regular sports, that some people are just going to be naturally better where they can become top in a game, or is it really like anybody can? And like, what would you tell someone who is putting in the time, learning their game, their character, and wants to make a go at it?
Um, they need to find out what it is that they want to do as far as to win the match and focus on that. They need to do it constantly. They have to need to think about it. They need to basically live it and breathe it. Like you can't just mindlessly play, and think that you're just going to level up like if you're playing an RPG or something. There are specific things you have to meet with yourself as a player and as a person to get better. Like, if you were, say, playing basketball and you're working on your jump shot, you have to work on your jump shot from every angle of the court. You have to make sure that your hands are properly following through with when you release the ball and everything, you're putting the proper, force into it and everything. It's the same thing when learning a, a video game. There's a technique to it. And you have to learn that technique and master that technique. You can't just go through and think you're just going to get pushed up. It's not like playing an MMO or something or RPG. You just keep fighting the same monster every day and you're just going to level up eventually. No, it's not like that. You have to basically level yourself up. You have to come to your own understanding. It's just like when, in the Matrix, Neo is like, he's like, I know Kung Fu. They're like uploading all the shit into his head and stuff.
Right.
That you have to actually learn it yourself and put the time in. You can't just upload it to your brain. You got to study like you were, studying for a test. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
And practice.
Yeah. It's more like study more than it is practice. Like once you figure out what you want to do, then you can practice it.
Yeah.
So studying as far as not only reading guides, but maybe like watching, how people fight or like,
right.
Like what would you say is a good study guide for people?
Right now there really isn't one. That's why I'm making one myself. Like you gotta, it's really, like there's a lot of guides out there, but they don't actually tell you like, all right, this is what you should do. This is what you should work on. Like what you really, the most general thing I can say right now is you have to figure out the sweet spot of the range, which is basically, the longest. Well, okay. Basically, like say you take like a normal attack, the very edge of that attack is the best range you want to be for that attack. So you want to be at the most optimal range to do something, and figure out what you can do or your best like attack, how long it is or whatever. You have to figure out your options, your opponent options. Once you figure that out, you figure out what their counter options are to your attack options, and then make sure you're supposed to like attack them. But then keep in mind they're going to try to counterattack you with their counterattack, so you have to find your counterattack to their counterattack. You have to basically keep constantly doing that, and that's where the game comes in. And that's why you see like in Street Fighter, people are moving back and forth like this or whatever, because they're trying to control that space so they can attack each other.
No. It's pretty much a footsies game.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now,
Everyone knows what footsies is. Like you, I guess if you're in elementary school and some girl is constantly, kicking you in your shins and stuff, that's footsies. It's the same thing.
Where'd you come up with Perfect Legend?
I want the name Legend because I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z.
Nice.
I love Broly, a legendary Super Saiyan, and I used to play this mod called Earth Special Forces, which was a Dragon Ball Z mod. And I used to call myself Super Saiyan Shin Carl, because Shin is like Ultra or Ultimate or whatever, or Super or something, that's what it means. But I changed my name to Legend because I just want to, I don't know, Legend. When I think about Legend, I think about like a golden aura, like on the Super Saiyan and their hair and stuff. I think about that golden hair and just the aura that they have and the sound or whatever that comes from it. I think of that. So I was like, I want to be known as Legend, but Legend was taken on Xbox Live, and then Perfect Legend came up in the generator, and I picked Perfect Legend. And I was like, well, this is kind of like Perfect Cell, so whatever. It's kind of the same thing. So that's how I got it from.
Have you ever had people like recognize you, that just like if you're out somewhere or maybe if you're in an area where there may be something going on? Like, have you ever had someone just come to you and be like, hey, aren't you? And
yeah, that actually happened to me. I was at the club, and two guys who I actually play with now were like, dude, what are you doing here? And I was like, I live here. It's like, since when? I was like, since I've lived my entire life. I was born here. And it's like, are you serious? And I got their number. We play like every now and then. They follow me on Twitter. I follow them on Twitter and stuff. But that was one of the first times. I mean, of course, I'll be recognized at like a tournament or something. But like as far as like outside of a tournament, no. But there have been, okay, I've went to like a birthday party. And they was like, yeah, I know you are. I follow you on Twitter. I'm like, what? Like so, those are the times I've encountered that.
No,
Carl,
it's yeah. Go ahead.
Carl, what would you say is your most prized possession right now, out of all the things that you've won in tournaments?
Probably the MK belt. Probably that, or I have like 2 EVO trophies. I have a lot. I have like a lot of trophies and medals and stuff.
Let's see that
Um,
MK belt. Show that
Yeah,
MK belt
okay.
off.
I want to see that.
I need to polish it. I should make a video of me polishing this just to piss people off. But yeah, this is it. This is a belt that Rio will never see in his life, or Junior, or any of those guys, or the East Coast in general. This is why everybody hated me for like what probably still hates me now.
I think they'll always hate you, Carl, for that
Yeah.
belt.
Do
And
you
who
walk
gave you
into
that
tournaments
belt?
holding that shit?
No, I don't actually. I'll probably get jumped and they'll probably steal it from me.
I remember, what was it? They thought that you were obligated the next year, if you didn't win EVO,
Yeah,
to
to give
pass
it
the
up.
belt. So the best part was
I
that
won.
conversation died real quick when you won, and
Yeah.
nobody ever brought that up again for the next year. It was just kind of like, yeah, leave the belt alone.
Right.
Don't bring that up.
Honestly, I wish MK wasn't even at EVO last year, so I could just be like, yeah, well, it's over. You guys have to hold that shit.
I
Actually, I
agree.
shouldn't even enter last year. There's no point. I should just stuck with Injustice. Because honestly, I was sick and I'm trying to play both games.
Yeah.
You know, I should have been focusing more on Injustice because of the patch and keeping up to date. I should have been using Superman. I was using Superman very early and beating the crap out of everybody, but I stopped playing with him.
Superman was really good back in the
Yeah,
early vanilla days.
right.
Oh my
Now,
god.
Obsolete Gamer is known for like old classic games. So like anyone we talk to, we always ask them if there's a classic game. Like what would be their favorite classic game? It can be whatever. It could be old all the way to Atari. It could be PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. What would you say would be like your favorite classic game and like why? Like
All
why?
right, well, I love everything from like Game Boy to now, and I can go from like Pokemon games. I can go to Biker Mice from Mars on Super Nintendo. I can go from all the Mario games, like the Dragon Ball Z games on Super Nintendo, like Legendary Super Saiyan, Hyper Dimension. Um, of course, the Mortal Kombat, the Killer Instincts, the Street Fighters, um, the Metroid, Smash Brothers, Mario 64, GoldenEye. Like I was really big into gaming back then. I loved all of it. And I mean, I don't really like how games are now. They're really boring. They're short. They're all about eye candy instead of the gameplay. Um, I used to love. I'm trying to think like what other games did I play back then? Like Mario parties and Mario Karts and stuff. I play a lot of Mario.
I think everybody played a lot of
Yeah,
Mario. It was good games.
yeah, Sonic, everything, Duke Nukem's, like like NBA Jams, everything was great. I loved a lot of the classic games back then.
Yeah, definitely NBA Jam. I remember when that first came out, like on the PC, and it was like that was like nothing else was like close to it. They had like
Yeah,
the little video intro. I mean
and then
that
he
was
did the
tight.
NBA Street like years later. You know what's messed up? I mean, I felt old when I read this, but they said that since Jason Kidd retired, there are no more active players from the NBA Jam game
Wow.
they're playing.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
Wow. I do feel kind of old now.
yeah, that's how old the game is. I was like, whoa, it's big.
What's the oldest I guess pro gamer of note that you know of or that's worth
Fatality.
mentioning? Fatality?
Well, yeah, because he's like the the original one. You know, he was who set like the ground of what you want to be. Like, you know, the head of your own brand. You know, he's won like I think 7 or 9 or something world championships in different games with different FPS games and stuff. I mean, he's been a spokesperson and he's still around to this day. I feel like he's the oldest one as far as like the most successful one.
Yeah. He definitely is one of the most successful ones, for sure. Where do
Now,
you where do you see where do you see like the fighting game branding going, as far as like you're mentioning Fatality? Like, I know Daigo would be the closest thing to what we would consider a Fatality, but do you think it could get bigger?
Yeah, we need to stop playing on console though for it to
Yeah,
happen. Like,
that's true.
I mean, we have our main games are are on PC. We have Injustice on PC. We have Street Fighter on PC.
They
Mortal
need to make
Kombat's also on PC. Like, we need to play the games on PC. We need to stop playing on console. For one, it's annoying playing on console because you got different, controllers and stuff. All controllers and shit work on PC. That would save us a lot, and then we could get other PC companies interested into sponsoring events and stuff because it will be, basically promoting their stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Like Alienware and
Right.
Origin PC were to do a tournament, that would be pretty
Yeah.
pretty spot on actually.
Because we got a lot of apparel stuff because we got a lot of catchphrases.
Yeah, that we definitely don't run out of in the FGC.
Right. So it just has to keep a steady pace, but I think people need to freaking stop playing on console and play on PC. That's what I think. Then things will grow at a much more rapid rate than they are right now.
Yeah, I could see that. I remember when I was talking to the guy who ran DMG, and he got, I think it was Corsair, to be partnered up with him and sponsored before DMG closed down, and I was kind of surprised to see a company noted for computer RAM and hard drives to even be supporting a fighting game team.
Right.
That was kind of surprising. I know that the money is in PC, no matter what. There's just so many more parts to a computer and so many different companies that would be willing to spend money.
Yeah.
Do you think that it could work being like multi-divisional, like computer division, and then I have another division for consoles, or
I think
it has
it
to
should
be
be no
completely
consoles at all. I
You
think
don't
it
think
should be
that'll
all
hurt?
PC. It'll work because people, regardless, are going to play. But I just feel like for the scene to grow and get to the level that it wants to be, or people want it to be, is to put it on PC. Because I just sold my Xbox One. I didn't want it in the first place. I only bought it for Killer Instinct. If Killer Instinct came on PC, I was just freaking updating my PC. I don't mind updating a computer to play a game because you can do other things with updating your computer, But buying a console that's just going to sit there and the console's super duper buggy and doesn't work half the time. I had so many problems with matchmaking and Killer Instinct. Every time a patch came out, there was a problem. I didn't have time for that. Like, I didn't buy this freaking $600 system to have some problems.
Yeah. Outside of EVO, what would you say the most enjoyable tournament you've been to? CEO?
Yeah. CEO.
I figured. CEO.
Dude, they have a ring. They have a freaking wrestling ring that you play in.
Yeah, Jabali runs a really good show.
Yeah, Jabali runs the best tournament outside of EVO.
Yeah.
Now, I know that as far as haters in general, it's almost better to ignore them. But is there anything that you would say to just haters in general out there, or is it they're not even worth mentioning anything?
Thank you. Is all what I'll say to them.
Oh man.
that is about perfect. Thank you.
So I have a good question. And I know people hounded you for this. I don't know. Years ago, it's already been a year or two that they've been hounding you for the event to happen. But I figured I'd bring it up, and I'd bring up something even bigger about it. Let's say down the line, 10 years down the line, they do a Mortal Kombat 9 be-all end-all tournament with 8 players, kind of like what they did for the send-off in the for a Korean League of StarCraft, where they picked up all the best players and they put down I don't know, a pool prize of $150,000. Would you enter it?
Hell fucking yeah, I would enter that tournament.
Even if Rio's in it?
I don't give a damn. Rio ain't shit. If I'm playing the game, actually practicing, I'm not worried about him. That's the only way I would do. That's the only way I would play MK again if there was that much money on the line. Because honestly, I went into practice mode the other day just to see how it felt, and I was like, wow, this game feels so slow.
And it's weird because when you played, it didn't feel slow. It looked looked like you were playing Marvel and everybody else was playing, I don't know, Championship remix of Street Fighter.
But
I'm sitting there, I'm in practice mode, I'm just like, wow, dude, I feel so slow playing this game. But when I play Injustice, I'm like, dude, this game is hella fast. It's weird because we used to say Injustice was hella slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about that? What about if someone is good at, let's say, like you said, really good at just Soul Calibur, or real good at Third Strike, or real good at, Injustice? Would you find that often, even though they're at the top or up there in their own games, that they'll talk shit about other games? Like, have you had people just try and say, oh, well, Mortal Kombat's different, or a real game is X, like that kind
Yeah,
of shit?
dude, we share that shit all the time, man. Like on the stream chat of Winter Brawl, people are like, we're just waiting for a real fighting game. That's why we're still watching Injustice. Because it was like 20,000 something people watching Injustice, and people were like, well, we're just waiting for Marvel. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is so stupid that people are. We're fighting games. We should be more unified.
The sad part is I think Injustice had the best top 8
Yeah,
so
it
far.
did. Like Injustice is super hype and fun to watch.
I would say that this game, like I enjoyed watching Mortal Kombat through the first year, and watching everybody play it on stream, and then watching that game, and then comparing it to where Injustice is at now. I almost feel like MK9 laid the groundwork for some of the names that are playing the game, and then everybody got more creative with this game. Like right off the bat, we're
yeah,
seeing
MK
just bigger
didn't have
things.
as much. You couldn't be too creative with MK because it was kind of like a lot of barriers that just couldn't be broken, you know. But with Injustices, the frame data was there immediately as soon as the game came out, and we kind of had a lot of information as soon as the game came out. It took a year for us to get the frame data from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and somebody off the side did it actually, which was crazy. Somberness did that, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Somberness.
And I know now, I would say definitely the NetherRealm crew, they stepped up their game making ability in this game. They just made a really good product. And it's really polished.
Yeah.
Well, overall, I mean, I think that the idea of just, having gamers take it to the next level was great. I mean, because obviously you had all the competition, even going back to freaking Atari. I remember playing like little airplane combat games where you were like firing a little pellet at people. I mean, it's just evolution that it came to this place, and it's true. Most of the people that get mad and talk shit about esports and stuff like that are either people that are just haters or they suck, and that's why they talk shit. But that's why I wanted to have a show where we could have people that come on and talk about actually not only just being a pro gamer but succeeding in it. And I mean, definitely with the championships and tournaments that you've won, you've done that. So I mean, I just wanted to say thanks for coming on and
Thank you
talking
for
about
having me. Thanks for creating the show.
It
Oh
was
yeah.
awesome to have you on, Carl.
And we always say, because I mean, this isn't one of those shows where we just try and have one and done. We want to make it where you come back on, and eventually we want to get it where it's a bunch of different gamers on at the same time, and let's see what happens. So I hope you'll be willing to come back when you have free
Oh
time.
yeah, of course.
And if you want to shout out anybody, Carl, I mean, I know you probably got a couple people you want to shout out on the board that you love so much, or your sponsor.
I want to shout out my girlfriend. I want to shout out my family. Shout out NetherRealm Studios for giving us Injustice and Mortal Kombat. Hopefully MK10 is sooner than later.
Yeah.
Shout out to KDZ for winning Winter Brawl and proving to everybody that you should stop talking shit about EVO Champions. I guess shout out to all the bandwagoners who were talking shit about him, and I guess me too. They're like, "Oh, you guys suck, can't win." And then, when you finally win again, they're like, "No, man, we knew you." No, don't. Stick to what you were saying. Say that he sucks.
Keep
that
saying
he's not that
KDZ's
good.
bad. Just
Yeah,
keep
saying it was pre-patch Superman. It wasn't KDZ. Come on, don't freaking change your words now. Don't be like, yeah, we got blown up. All right, KDZ's great again. No, keep saying what you were saying. Can't go back on your words. I don't care. You got proved wrong.
Awesome. And so, all you guys out there, whether, you fans or haters, you can always follow us. First of all, you should go over to theperfectlegend.com and check that out. I've been browsing the site, looking at the stuff there, so you got to go over there. And then also, you can follow him over at Perfect Legend on Twitter.
If you haven't followed him yet, you're making a big mistake.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, especially if you're haters. If you're haters, you gotta do it right.
Yeah, give him some views. If you hate him, give him some views.
Yeah, man, you gotta know when to hate on me. God.
And as for me, you can follow me at JALarock. And Shin, you want to shout out where they can follow you at?
I'll give out a couple shout outs. I'm gonna shout out KDZ. because I remember CEO this past year, I was rooting for KDZ to win, and then Carl ruined that, but that's fine. I'm fine with that. Carl ruining it's fine. But I remember when he played Deg, I looked at KDZ. I said, "I can't root for you anymore, KDZ," and he just looked at me with this sad face. And then he lost to Deg the first time, and I just go, "I'm sorry. Like, I rooted for you for every match, and then you lost the one match I rooted against you." And he's like, "Well, don't root for me. Don't root against me in top 8." I'm like, "Okay, I'll root for you. I'll root for you." And I rooted for him when he played Deg the second time, and he beat him. Shout outs to Carl for being on here, man. Thank you for coming on. You're the first guest for this show.
Yeah, premier, champion.
Yeah.
We have champions as our premier.
I see no better way to start it off than somebody who is a polarizing figure within not only the fighting game community, but let's be real, he's a world champion. He's won world championships in 2 games. I mean, who does that? I mean, who aside from like legends like Fatality, you might as well just put the perfect legend up there.
Thank you.
So shout outs to everybody that continues to hate Carl. Go follow him.
Follow me on Twitch as well to watch Let's Be Serious here every week.
There you go. And level up your game, guys. Stop hating, and go out there and see if you can back up what you talk.
Yeah, exactly. I guess as for me, I'll shout out to Ignacio, president of Obsolete Gamer, and just to Obsolete Gamer itself, because that's our championship right there. So you guys gotta go over to ObsoleteGamer.com, because that's you want to see how websites ran. That's how a gaming website, especially classic gaming, is ran. And I guess I'm gonna also shout out to Red Eye Alliance.
Oh my
Red Eye
God.
LAN party, because I mean that's really the only thing I could say as far as accolades for gaming. Being part of that LAN party from Miami that used to just crush people.
That's where the infamous donkey came to play. You remember that? The initiation?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I don't even we're not even going to bring that up right now. It's
and
bad.
Even though I guess they kind of are at the kind of opposites just because of the situation, shout outs to Origin and Alienware, because, I mean, look, I'm part of both teams. So it's like, shout out to them. But particularly, you guys too, fans. Hate us, love us, it doesn't matter. You guys tune in.
Just watch us.
It's all good. So we're going to make sure that we bring good shows, have great guests like Perfect Legend, Carl here. We're going to try and bring those type of guests, that type of conversation and fun to the show. So, thanks for watching. We're going to make sure that this is going to be up on the stream as well as YouTube.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Definitely. You guys got to watch this. We're going to make sure, podcasts, iTunes, there's not going to be a place where you can't miss it. So we're going to send out all those shout-outs. But until the next episode, it's simple. It's if you don't have skills, if you ain't hardcore,
hit
you
the
might as
2
well
keys.
just hit, Alt F4. We'll catch you guys later.
Later.
Out.
Peace.